All right, so here we are, Chapter 1, Session 2 of Unlawful Disorder. Good morning, everybody, or good evening, or good afternoon, or good night, or whatever it is that applies to your time zone. All right, so let's do introductions, and then we'll get, and as it seems to me, we've got pirates to bop over the head, yes? All right, then.
Yes.
I am so excited, fighting pirates.
Alexandre, introduction, please.
I am Chantel B. I play Alexandre. Yeah, that's fun. You can find me at Chantel B on Twitter. You can find me at wordswithcolor.com. And I've moved everything Alexandre related to there, which is nice. So everything is starting to become centralized. There is a centralized location in which to find everything to do with me if you wish it. Yes, I'm always here. So if you're looking for me, this is it. There is also a big difference between us and you, Michelle, in terms of volume. If you could pull us down.
Okay, your volume needs to come down, you say?
Yeah, our volume needs to come down.
Okay, let me figure this out. This is the problem we were having last week. If I cut the Zoom meeting down by half, let's see what happens. And there we go. Let's try that. Alrighty, let's see if that works any better.
Hello? Yeah, I think that's a bit better.
Good.
Is that better?
Excellent. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is still taking some getting used to. All right, then. All right, Sam, please, introductions, please.
Hello, I'm Sam. I'm a voice actor and performer from on Twitter at the _RealStannyP. I'm also excited to get back in and see how this goes, and once again play around with Open Legend.
Yeah, this is interesting stuff. Let's Drew, if you please.
Yeah. Hello. I am Drew, and you can find me on Twitter at DrewWilson. I took a leaf out of Chantel's book and I started a blog. Yay! At a place called talesfromthetavern.wordpress.com. I haven't yet paid the amount to get rid of the WordPress, so at the moment it's very much an amateur blog. But listen and read in, and you can get a little bit of info about Lucas Edgewater, who is the character I play this evening for your pleasure.
All right then, and Jamie.
Yeah, that's me. Hi, I'm Jamie. You can find me at Muffin Manifesto on Twitter or on my website, jamie-collett.com. I play Spider.
All right. So, question to the players: do you feel it is we need to do the in-character recap, or just to get into character, or do you guys just want?
Yeah, we're fighting pirates.
Yes. So, do you guys want to do the in-character recap, or just lunge into the fight?
I reckon we just jump in.
Let's fight.
Let's fight.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Fight the pirates.
So, all right then. So, just as a reminder, you guys had spent a couple of days at sea, just basically getting used to the crew and the aftermath of the events in Breezy Point Bay. And, after, I think it was the third morning you guys had been out, in the early pre-dawn gloom, a pirate ship had attacked. And things were going pretty well right up to the point where the GM rolled a 35 on a D20 and knocked the mast off the ship you were on. which was only slightly more complicated to the little detail that Spider was hanging off said mast. So the
I'm fine.
So the enemy pirate ship was able to come alongside, throw grappling hooks, pull the two ships together. You all had mounted a fairly stern resistance, had knocked a few of the pirates down, had disarmed a few other ones, that sort of thing. And we'd actually left it at the point the pirates were getting ready to start swinging back at you all.
No, but they decided not to.
I forgot about
They
that.
like
bit.
us now.
Yeah,
I remember shooting.
didn't they just jump
someone
in the
with a
water and
crossbow.
swim away? Wasn't that what they did?
I'm checking my notes right now. No,
I think it
it's
was they were
specifically
awed by our prowess. think
no,
was
I
the-
have no note about that at all in the comment. No, sorry, that I don't have that. Sorry. The good news is Lucas will not be getting whacked over the head too much because, well, all of the pirates around him are disarmed. So
Yeah, thank you to Alexandre who
Yeah.
screamed in their face.
yes, exactly. So what I need
Yes,
to do
I
is just double check mechanically how disarmed works. There we are. Okay. Poof. And all right. So basically, so they've dropped the weapons. So they've dropped their weapons, etc. And so they're going to. So this is just a straight up Bane, and so they all get to roll on a 10 or higher to scrabble their weapons up this round. Otherwise, they remain disarmed. So we're going to start out with that bunch. So the first chap rolls an 11, so he was no longer disarmed, but that's what he's doing this round, is picking his weapon up. Next chap rolls a 16, same thing, so...
That's a good move, Alexandre.
Mm-hmm. And then the
Guess
last
what?
chap...
She's clever.
Okay, so the three pirates immediately surrounding Lucas are basically spending their time scrabbling around the deck. Keep in mind, the extra specification for the Bane is that within 15 feet of their location. So literally weapons went flying in all directions. The only thing I'm not going to say is they didn't go over the side. So now you have pirates scrabbling around, chasing after their swords, which are skittering across the deck in the ensuing chaos. So Lucas is therefore without peril currently. So we're going to say that there are 3 more pirates who are going to puppy pile onto Chevalier. One sec. That's V.
Yeah, is there opportunity attacks?
So the short version, as I understand it, is if you bother mapping out the if you're doing hex square combat, as it were, yes. Otherwise, it's situational. In other words, if I say your opponent desperately tries to run away in fear, then you could, narratively, there's a chance to take a crack at them across the back of the head, sort of thing. But it's much more narrative than the mechanical when you with a map.
It's more sort of like if as you said, like the disarm can knock the weapon up to 15 feet away.
Yeah.
If they had to go from next to Lucas to get their weapon, they're moving away from him, and he can actually bop them.
Yeah.
Could I do like a whack-a-mole thing on some of them?
Well, let me just double check exactly how that's going to work, because it is actually a question I don't know. So let me find out what the actual ruling on attack of opportunity is. Because, that's a good question. I believe it ought to be okay. Combat is 87. So, again, for the folks at home, we're literally trying to figure out how this game works, so there's a little bit of learning here.
Page 92 in the book.
92, thank you. Opportunity attack. Yes, straight up. Opportunity, yes, in fact, right at the bottom. Opportunity attack is a special kind because it does not take place if your wielding a weapon and an enemy moves from a space within your reach to a space that is not within your reach. You get to make a free attack. You can make only 1 opportunity attack per round. So you cannot play whack-a-mole, but you can play whack-a-pirate in singular.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and hit one of them.
All right then. So go ahead and let's say these. So there are three of these chaps, and one of them is already slightly injured. Who are desperately trying to dive away now that their weapons have literally been blasted out of their hand by the sonic attack from Alexandre. So yes, one of them is likely injured. That would be a reasonable candidate for a thump across the back of the head.
So I'm trying to knock them out. That's my plan. I don't want to kill them. But the one that's injured is he's probably moving slower anyway because he's injured. So I'm going to go for that one.
Sure. Guard target. You're rolling against their guard, which is 14.
14. Great. So I'm rolling a d20 and 2d6 because this is might. So
mighty.
Let's see what happens. I'm mighty. Oh, not so good, everybody. That was all in all a 7.
A 7.
Yeah.
So basically, obviously, these are folks who've spent a fair amount of time fighting. Long sort of dive, grabs his sword, comes up in a roll. Your sword whistles, sort of across the back of the space he was standing in, and clean miss. So that's that.
Did it look good? Did it look good?
Yes, they looked absolutely fantastic. Right. So there's going to be 3 attacks made against V, as 3 pirates encircle him, attempting to slow him down a bit. Let's see here. So they are might 4, and that is 1d10. All right. Let's see what happens here. So what is your guard, your chevalier?
Oh, it's currently 24.
Wow. All right then. So the first pirate.
Just waiting for that reaction.
Yeah, first pirate is going to roll a 14, which means it doesn't even really come close to you. The second is clearly awed by this transformation, which is taken place with Chevalier. Rolls an 8. I'm not even sure he actually attacked. I think he was just staring at you in wide-eyed terror. And lastly, a 23.
I mean, it's a good roll.
Yeah. So, but
it's not good enough.
Yeah. So, versus a 24. But that is literally a blow that goes rattling across your reinforced armor. If it hadn't been for the reinforcements, that probably would have injured.
Yeah, that would have hurt.
Yeah.
Without the reinforcements.
So, all right then. And there is one last sailor who I'm going to ask both. There's one last pirate. I guess is it? Oh yes, no. So there's. Sorry, I can't count. I was looking. There are eight sailors. There are 20-odd pirate. So there's going to be 3 who are going to try closing with. So hang on a second. The sailors are. There's an equal number of sailors and pirates currently sword fighting on the deck. So that's going to be. There are 8 of them tied up. That leaves 12. So that's going to be 3 against Spider. And
my memory is like I'm somewhat like hidden behind a barrel or something.
Yeah. All right. So I tell you what. Why don't you make a stealth roll, and I'll see if any of them notice you.
So stealth is just like a straight agility roll here, right?
Yeah.
In this system. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a d20 and 2d6.
Yeah. Dodge attacks, move with stealth. That's agility. Yes.
You know what? Given that I just popped my head out to shoot their captain, I think they noticed me because I got only an 11 on.
All right. So what I'm going to do? There are 3 of them. I'm going
d20 and 2d6.
Yep. So I'm going to. There are 3 of them. They're all not very bright. So let's just see. There, and then they have. Okay, so they're rolling a flat, a flat d20. Let's see. First chap rolls a 4, doesn't see you. Second chap rolls a natural 20 and absolutely knows where you are and zooms to your location. And the last one rolls a 1 and is wandering around examining the barrels on the upper deck, apparently. So one chap is going to having seen your attack, and you've clearly shot a good friend of his. He's going to press and swing mightily with his. These guys are fighting with machetes, incidentally. So what is your guard?
It's not great. It's 16.
16, sure. He rolls a 6, so you are able to deftly parry the incoming attack, and therefore are okay.
It's a haft of my bow.
Yes.
Not ideal.
No, suboptimal. And there's going to be one pirate attacking Alexandre, who darts around the side of the engagement, heading for the obvious person, waving her hands and shrieking at people.
I currently have a resistance boon on me, but I don't know what that entails.
It will increase your guard by 3.
There you go.
Okay, thanks.
So what is your total guard?
17.
17, all right. Natural 20, and so we're at a 21.
Which explodes. Yeah.
Yep, which is a 31. All total.
Yep.
I'm going to interrupt that
All right.
With
How do you
the
propose to interrupt that?
with the guard action.
Explic to me your cunning plan.
Well, I'm going to move back to Alexandre and put myself in front of that blow.
All right.
So I take the guard action. So the guard action mechanically will take up my main action on my next turn.
Right. Yep.
It allows me to move half my movement without incurring any opportunity attacks,
All right. And how much
So
movement is that?
which would be 15.
15. I'm
So
willing to say sure.
I'd specified that I wasn't going to leave that radius.
Yes, you did say that.
And so I go back to Chantal. Alexandre, if she would like, can also now move half her speed without getting an opportunity attack.
All right.
I then basically take the hit, but instead of using my guard, I make a might roll
All right then.
with some advantages because I have a shield. So the shield's defensive quality gives me advantage on my roll.
All right. So the target number for your roll then to not get walloped here is a 31.
Yes.
So Alexandre, what you're going to see is Chevalier basically charge across the deck, dive into the way as the enemy sword comes crashing down at you. Are you going to remain there, or are you going to take advantage of that 15 feet of free movement?
Gonna move toward thee.
All right.
That seems to make sense to me.
Like I'm next to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I won't. I'm just staying.
Close. The trigger for you getting the movement is me being next to you.
All right.
So there's
right.
ways
Then
to do
no.
it at if I had magic that could make me block the attack somewhere else, some other way.
Yeah.
But because I have to physically be there, you get to reposition.
So,
Right.
All right. So you're going to decline the reposition and remain fighting at V's side.
Yes, but from behind him.
That is a reasonable position.
Yes.
So because the shield gives me advantage 2 on this roll,
Yep. So that's two additional. That's 2 additional dice.
which are both 6s, on a 19 for the d20. So I'm currently at 31, 35.
Wow, nice roll. So yeah, you managed to intercept the what would have been a devastating attack. Your shield, but at this point, I'm going to say your shield has a divot in it, but you are otherwise unscathed. Suffice to say, this isn't exactly what the pirate had in mind, and would kind of like you to have left. Because why are you here? Why are you doing this? So yeah, the other pirates are all happily battling away with the other sailors. I'm just going to throw a couple of dice here and see if anything spectacular happens. And wow, the sailors roll remarkably well. So I'm going to say that there are two of the other pirates are now added to the deceased pile. Inspired by the daring do of the adventurers, they rolled a natural 20. And the pirates didn't get even close to that number, even with their modifiers for being better fighters. So, the sailors are going to actually fight a couple of the pirates to stand still. There we go. So, the helmsman is blind. He gets to roll, and he rolls a 19, so his blindness effect goes away. Not that it really helps. And then there are the 3 siege pirates, and they're... Well, it's not like they can really shoot anything, so they're going to spend this round basically putting their siege stuff away and getting their boarding stuff together so they can join in the battle. So that's these 3 are doing. And again, as a reminder, I'm from the 80s. I say chaps or dude in a gender agnostic sense. It's a mixed bag of races. It's a mixture of different races and different genders. There's no particular pattern at all to the pirate crew. So yeah. Like I say, at one point in time, one of the pirates that Lucas was dueling was fighting with earlier on was a gnome, that sort of thing. So, all right. All right. I think that's them. And next round, yeah, okay, that's it. Next round. Anyone, any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay. So let's actually, at this point, roll initiative, because the last time we didn't. We just sort of went in on the basis of the fact that it was the two ships colliding, and you guys all generally had much higher agilities than they did, so we went in agility order. But now the fray has become much more disorganized, and yeah. So let's all.
So what do we roll for initiative? Is it?
That's
It's just agility.
Yep.
And your
Straight
agility.
Yep.
Oh, that's good for me. Okay.
Yeah. The pirates have an agility of 3, and that gives them 1d8. So.
Yeah.
So the pirates are going on a 7 because they rolled yet another 1. You did 7. And then the lieutenant, the siege pirates go on their round. Oh, wow. Hang on a sec. So they're going to go on an 18. They're pretty speedy, apparently. And then the lieutenant is... For those of you following along at home, by the way, the stats for the pirates are available on the website. So yeah, agility 5 is 2d6. Okay. So the lieutenant is quite capable. Let's see what we get here. He rolls, apparently not that capable. He rolls a 15. And 15. And then the pirate captain is agility 4. Oh, that's right, that quirk, which is a d10. And that is a 20 he goes on. All right. All right. So, anyone higher than an initiative 20?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Wow, the heroes are rocking. All right, so anyone
I
higher?
mean, no. All of them.
All right. So just really quickly here, just for neatness, Spider, what is your initiative, please?
24.
Hey, I got 24 too.
All right, and
So did I.
We all got 24.
Spider, what is your agility?
Wow.
5.
5. All right. Chevalier.
2.
All right. So that's initiative 24 with a 2. Okay, and Lucas.
Yeah, mine's a 2 as well.
All right. So, all right, that's so. What I'm going to just arbitrarily declare is that V will go after Lucas because V has always sort of described himself as basically a heavy automaton. Lucas has always been a little bit more of a dance and dodge fighter. So I'm just going to arbitrarily say that in this case, the initiative tie goes to.
I think the system change actually improved my initiative.
Yeah.
And what is Alexandria's initiative, please?
8.
8, yay!
Ah!
And what's
She's still
turning up.
Pirates.
and what is your agility?
My agility is score 2.
It's 2. All right then, very good. Yep, cool. All right, so let's start out. Wow. All right then. So yeah, you Spider acts first. What's Spider up to?
Guy just came at me, but he seems pretty incompetent. I'm just going to do lay of the land real quick. There's a few pirates on the deck fighting V and Lucas, and a couple fighting the sailors, but the sailors seem to be doing all right.
Yeah.
There's 3 who just came off the siege engine. Are they?
Yeah, what they're doing is they're in the process of grabbing their weapons and strapping on heavy breastplates, i.e., they have an armor bonus compared to the regular pirates, and they're about to join the battle.
They're grabbing like swords or something, not crossbows.
Right.
There's a woman with a crossbow near the tiller.
Yep.
And then there's the actual person driving their boat, who's a big half-orc.
So there's so let me just be clear here. So the hang on, I'm being clumsy. Open. I will get you some names. NPC list. So yeah. And that's the driver, I think. Oops, that's awkward. What are you doing? Yeah, okay. So all right, so there's a male halfling, a dark-skinned male halfling. That is the pirate lieutenant. He has a crossbow. You've shot him once already.
Okay.
And
Sorry,
then the pirate captain is a female half-orc, kind of tallish, kind of solid build.
Right, and she's on the wheel.
Yes, because the helmsman had been blinded and only just recovered now. So, but at the point
The 3 of them are there, holding back.
Sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
The 3 of them are holding back a bit.
Well, it was more just last round there was the entire job. But well, first off, the halfling with the crossbow doesn't need to close to melee range. That seems silly. He has a crossbow, so he was essentially doing what Spider is doing, which is sniping into the battle. And then the captain had spent last round getting the 2 ships alongside each other, and the helmsman, of course, was blind. So probably those 3 will be joining the fray next round on there.
Okay. Well, because this system lets us do some fun stuff, I'm going to do some fun stuff. Go ahead, Sam.
I was going to also point out that because I relocated, there might be the people that were on me. So there's like 3 people on Chevalier.
Yeah.
Aren't. So.
Yeah, they'll be chasing after Chevalier in just a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what Spider is going to do is, after parrying aside the guy that came to stab at him with a cutlass or whatever it was, he's going to try and fend that guy off with his foot whilst like sliding across the barrel and then triple loading 3 arrows into the bow and trying to hit the helmsman, the captain, and the lieutenant all at once.
Sure.
I'm going to do a ranged multi-attack
All right.
with 3 targets, which gives me disadvantage 3, and I get another disadvantage because there's a person in melee with me. So I have disadvantage 4 on this roll.
Sounds fantastic. So you're
So-
so how many dice is that you're rolling? Just to
So I roll my normal d20, and then I roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 d6 and take the lowest 2.
Fantastic.
Okay, the lowest 2. The lowest 2 are a 2 and a 3.
All right.
There were 2 6s that I don't get to explode.
Mm-hmm.
But then the d20 is a classic 20.
Oh wow.
There it is.
So
So-
that explodes. Go ahead and pop that.
So here we go. All right. So a total of 31.
Wow. All right then. Yeah. So let's talk about that. And then, so here's the thing.
A spider finally hit. What?
It's like our characters are capable all of a sudden.
I mean, shots
Alexandria is
fired.
confused.
All right. Well, that's
I
awkward.
don't know. Do we want to go with slightly more realism and say there were 3 very quick shots, or are we okay with the triple shot?
I'm totally okay with the cinematics of you basically parkouring over a barrel. This guy's
Amazing.
literally this guy, the pirate trying to engage you. You know, basically doing chasey around the barrel, having to dodge this thing as it rolls across the deck. You lining up with a mitt full of arrows, letting them fly, and you know the Hollywood pan that blurs across the ship, and all 3 of your targets have got an arrow sticking out of them. I just totally think that's fine.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to John Woo, how many pigeons magically appeared?
Alexandria will be rolling with disadvantage due to the amount of feathers in her face. Let's do it that way.
Yeah, so I guess they all take, those 3 targets take 31 minus their guard damage.
Oh my gosh! All right. So that's probably going to crink a few of them. Let's start with the poor sailor. The guard so the sailor generic.
Is that the helmsman?
The helmsman, Piraticus genericus, has a guard of 14. So he takes 16 points of damage, which coincidentally and awkwardly exceeds his total of 10.
Okay.
And drops like a stone. So yeah.
Can I nominate, from Dr. Vesuvius in chat, but I agree, can we nominate Sam for a legend point for the John Woo reference?
Yes.
Sold. So yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that's just funny as hell. So yeah.
Okay, so the helmsman
Just one
finally
second. One sec here.
unblinded.
Excuse me, the audience has spoken. I have things I need to do. This is important. And there we go. Chevalier has 1 legend point. All right, now
Nice.
back to the shooting things.
Yep.
The lieutenant takes. Let's see here. The lieutenant has a guard of 16.
So that's 15, which means I get to apply if he's not dead, then I get to apply a bane as well.
Well, you've already done 8 damage to them, so that puts them at 23 out of 18.
Okay, so that's
not good. Let's just use
Yep.
that. That's poor. Oh, yeah. So and they'd already taken 5 points of lethal in the first attack, and then the captain has a guard of 18.
So 13 damage.
And 26 hit points. So that's half their health done in 1 hit.
I will also apply. Do I have to roll for one of these banes, or it just has to be under the power of my agility?
It's just one you can do with like
Yep.
that attack, I think. I think also the roll has to beat whatever resistance they would normally need to resist.
Yeah.
Exceptional success. I'm just going to read this because
Yeah,
it's our
please
first
do.
time actually doing it.
Yeah.
If your attack roll exceeds the target's defense by 10 or more, you may apply 1 bane of a power level less than or equal to the attribute you used for the attack. In order to apply your bane, your attack roll must equal or exceed the appropriate defense for that bane. So,
So what? So for example, if you were attacking with agility and you have you've got a 5 agility, I think, so you could do up to a level 5 Bane.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, if you targeted multiple foes, you may apply the Bane to each qualifying target.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't pick different Banes, but you can apply it to all of them. So,
as well, because it's a weapon attack, whatever the listed Banes are for that weapon, the requirement for the power level is 1 less.
Oh, why is that?
Where is it? So the weapon, when it has the Banes listed for each weapon, so like.
Oh yeah, right. So if I use for longbow,
crossbow
it's persistent damage or slowed.
Yeah. So for those, the power to qualify for those 2 Banes, the attribute required is reduced by 1.
Yeah.
And you would get, if you were actually just trying to put that Bane on the person, you'd get advantage on that roll.
Right, I see.
So just if that changes what you want to do.
I don't think so. I think, given how high the roll was, it's either stunned or incapacitated that I want to go with. I just can't remember which one's which.
Well, let's look them up.
Yeah, I want to go with incapacitated.
All right, what's it do?
So, incapacitation is a catch-all Bane for a variety of effects like total paralysis, sleep, petrification, poison, being knocked out, fainting, or similar conditions that leave a character completely helpless.
All right.
The target is immobile and unconscious and have disadvantage 5 on all perception rolls and are incapable of moving. As a result of being completely incapable of movement, an incapacitated character can be the victim of a finishing blow.
Mm-hmm.
From power level 5, which is what I have, the effect can be broken by a moderate disruption such as a shove, kick, glass of water, or loud bang.
Right.
So, does this make sense? How does an arrow incapacitate someone in this way?
Pain.
Yes.
Yeah,
Pain.
I think it just goes to the pain. So, where's somewhere nice and painful? This arrow hits this guy. Is it the knee? Do I arrow this guy in the knee?
No, you don't arrow. No, we can remove legend points. You can have -1.
So,
all right.
So the first question is so what is the resistance stat that they
It's the same. It's toughness.
All right. So.
Oh wait, no, sorry, toughness, not guard. Yeah. So does my 31 exceed his toughness?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Toughness.
Yeah, toughness is a 16. So yeah, that's no
Okay,
problem.
that's how it works, right, Sam?
Yeah.
Because the attack
I
roll
believe
is
so.
31. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I apply incapacitated.
All right.
Let's go instead then that the arrow goes through the forearm and pins it to the back, like the arrow, because it's a longbow arrow. Those are long, so it goes through and
yeah. The literal cloth yard, 40 inches.
So until someone goes and shakes them free, she is
unconscious. Yeah. Now, where that is a Bane, do they get a saving throw each?
It says here duration equals resist ends. They get a resist on each of their turns, and if they fail 3 times, it lasts a whole minute.
Gotcha. Okay, so same as blindness then. All right.
I think.
Oh, hang on.
No.
Yeah.
Incapacitated is special. Because you're incapacitated, you can't make the roll. Someone else has to come and get you
right.
up.
Yeah. So yeah, they can't resist it, but any shake from another person will wake them up.
I should you can't make the resist action.
Yeah.
You do get a resist roll, but it's at the end of their turn rather than it being a move action.
I see.
Yeah.
So you still might just wake up, but they can't when they wake up, they can't then immediately take action.
Right. So their entire action is making the roll, as it were. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Well, excellent.
Sorry for going maximum crunch on my first move, but
Hey,
there
that's
we go.
fine. Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of the system is the
Let's go as cool as we can.
That's when you play with exploding dice. This is the sort of thing that's going to happen from time to time. It does.
Yeah.
As a GM, my initial reaction is yes, but what about dragons? It'll be
God, terrifying.
Well, but what I mean is just one-shotting the dragon or something, right? So I'm gonna have to do some reading on how that works, but
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it can happen.
It worked in The Hobbit, so I mean,
Yeah.
the other
It's
thing
also not like unreasonable that a monster could have a stat like maximum damage taken per turn or something like that.
So it'll be interesting to see how this works out. The other thing too is oddly enough is that they actually have a rule called boss boss action, and it is triggered when the boss is incapacitated, essentially rendered unconscious, etc., and it is uninterruptible, and they get a number of actions based on their power level, and they just go off. So basically the dying actions or the retaliatory strikes, and then the creature falls over, right? So there's some interesting mechanics that do ship with it. It's just going to take a little bit of getting used to. All right, so Spider lays waste the command team of the pirate ship. That's probably going to have an influence on events. And that brings us to Lucas. Lucas, you are surrounded by, by three pirates who now have their swords in hand and are apparently have intended to make end of you. What are you up to? And Lucas has frozen in a most awkward position.
It's very Lucas, though. Oh,
We have a Drew back. We're gonna have to do some camera
Yeah, I was just going to say, a little bit of camera shuffle needs to happen. So Drew's in the Drew spot. Sam is...
I'm so sorry. That was worst timing.
I think you got to do it again, Sam. Sorry.
Spider and Chevalier. Yeah.
There we go.
I was about to say I might have done that, been a bit too quick off the trigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Can I take the Bane? Can I take the Bane stunned? Is that
would
like?
we be surprised?
So Lucas, you
The internet has really high stats. It's
So Lucas, the three pirates who are battling you have regained their weapons and are charging forward, obviously intent on hacking you to ribbons. What are you up to?
Just attack a whole bunch of them. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay, there we go, and you've caught up now. So yes, what are you up to?
Okay, so the three that that were just disarmed, and I tried to whack them all or whack a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Having seen these arrows shoot over my head,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to take advantage of this.
All right.
And I think, okay, so can you target Banes at multiple people?
You can. It gives you disadvantage.
Yep.
So
Okay.
you can do it to as many people as you want, but it adds disadvantage for each additional person.
Great. Awesome. Well, I think what I want to do is essentially push them off the ship.
Okay, sure. How's that?
All
Good?
three of them.
Mhm.
It's forced move. So that's a Bane that I can make them using my might. Essentially, in a way, grab all three, pick them up and throw them off.
Okay, that sounds fun. Sure. So how's
Yeah.
So all right. So yeah. So you're gonna clothesline, shove, grapple, grapple and toss, all that good. So yeah. So because there are three of them, that would be disadvantage 2 that you would be rolling with.
Okay.
So
Okay.
So how many?
I think it's disadvantage 3. I
Disadvantage.
could be wrong. I think it's equal to the number of people.
Equal to the number.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
so
it is equal to the number of people.
So disadvantage 3
Correct.
then. So you're going to roll. So what is your might stat?
So my might is 5. So I'm rolling 2d6. So I assume I add 2 more d6 and take the bottom.
So you're going to add 3 more
3
d6. So disadvantage 3. So you're going to roll 5 d6 and take the lowest 2.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I've only got 2 d6, so I've got to roll a lot and write them
Yep.
down so that I know. Yeah. And
It's time for more
Okay.
dice, everyone. Everyone.
When you start,
what have I got to hit? What is their what is it might against? It's be guard?
Yeah, I would say it's probably their actually.
It's guard.
Yeah, it's
force
guard.
movement.
It's an attack that's dodgeable that makes it guard. So yeah. So their target is your target number is a 14 is what you're trying to roll higher than.
Guess what I got, Michelle?
A 13. And he froze.
oh,
He really needs to just
slow
say
roll.
it.
I was just going to
I'd
say
like to get.
with the fantastic Joker grin too.
I'd like to give the internet a legend point for its immaculate timing.
Yes.
Okay.
Just,
All right.
Welcome
So-
back, Joe.
Yeah,
Hello.
You had totally frozen there, Lucas. So okay, so what did you roll?
I rolled a 14.
14, a tie. Now here's a fantastic question: does this system defender tie or attacker ties? Sorry,
It should
attacker.
be meet beat. I don't think I've ever seen a system that doesn't do that. Maybe I am wrong.
I have seen a couple systems. Where
Yeah, I believe
where
that.
defender
I believe.
wins.
I believe the guard is the difficulty, and so reaching it is a hit.
All right, so yeah. So you're going to charge forward, grab this bunch, run them over to the edge of the ship, and over they go. So what I'm going to say is because technically they should be, because there's nothing to say, mechanically, if you will, there's nothing that's going to keep them down.
No.
So
No,
they're going
essentially
to go
essentially what I'm doing is I'm pushing them 10 feet away.
yes.
So that's yeah.
So you're gonna. So I think that's hysterically funny though. So you're gonna charge forward. There's gonna be a god's awful splash, and there's going to be flailing pirates in the water, spluttering and what have you. In a few moments, they'll be climbing ropes to come back up the side of the ship. But that's going to be their action: is getting back up here, not attacking anybody.
Yeah. And this is just looking. Do we get lots of minor actions?
That's an excellent
Is
question.
there like lots of little extra things?
Well,
You can do one
it
major action and one minor usually.
Yeah, and so the question is what do you mean by a minor action? Because minor is actually a technical term in the system. So if it's just
right.
if it's a soliloquy or or shouting or whatever that sort of thing, that is what I call zero cost.
Oh, great.
Minor actions are a category of things you can do. I think one of them, for example, is rummaging through your backpack for a particular thing.
I've got the list up if you'd like to hear it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, please.
So the listed minor actions are make an opportunity attack, which happens on not your turn.
Yep.
You can sustain a boon. You can draw or sheath a weapon. You can retrieve an item stored on your person. You can make a perception roll to observe your surroundings. You can make a learning roll to see if you can recall useful information, or you can open a door, chest, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say that
Okay.
something like shouting out, or like I say, as long as you're not quoting War and Peace, I think you're fine. That sort of thing
Okay.
is fine. Yeah.
The reason I say is because just to annoy them and to turn it into our advantage, I just want to throw their weapons in the water after them. Like throw them far away. Like just pick them up and throw them somewhere where they won't find them.
Yeah, so you cannot without. So that is a permanent bane, if you will, mechanically. And so, from a special effects perspective, they went over their side, clutching their weapons in hands. I think it'd be terribly funny if what happened was you managed to, boot one of them, boot one over after them, and so you've got this pirate who's diving desperately after his rapidly sinking machete, but mechanically he'll resurface at the top of his term, spluttering and cursing your name and all that other good stuff, and planning on climbing up the side of the ship ropes to get back at you. Yeah,
Right.
I think
Amazing.
that's funny as hell.
Okay. Brilliant.
Okay.
Love this. Awesome. That's my turn, and I think I just turn to everyone. I might turn to Chevalier and wink, thinking I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. All right, V.
He nods back, I guess. I don't.
What's this?
Wink.
V. So, there's the pirate who is fighting Alexandre, who you interceded. And then there are the pirates who were battling you that you sort of, left behind, who are about to come charging to your position. What are you up to?
Well, I can't really do much because the defend action I took counts as my major action this turn. So I can sustain the boon that I gave to Alexandre. And I could move if I wanted to, but I kind of want to stay where I am. So
Okay.
That's me.
All right, then. Interesting. So that was a 24. On a 20, the captain is unconscious. It rolls a d20 to see if they can roll higher than a 10. And I roll a 9, so they're at strike number 1. Right. The lieutenant is unconscious due to damage. They're not coming back. The helmsman is unconscious due to damage. They're not coming back. So that's 20, 15. The pirate initiative is a 7. So that means Alexandre goes before the pirates do. So there's
a lot of things have happened.
Yes. So, yeah.
So there's a pirate in front of me
Mm-hmm.
that V has taken a blow for
Yep.
or from.
Mm-hmm.
Are there more around me?
Currently, so what it is that there are 3 desperately swimming. There are majority of there's 1 fighting with Spider or trying to. The siege pirates will be coming on board this round with their heavy breastplates and sharp swords. Basically, otherwise, the remainder of the pirate crew are in 1v1s with the remainder of the ship's sailors. And so far, the sailors seem to be having the upper hand.
Okay. Oh.
Oops.
Okay.
Sam is in the Sam spot. Yes. Jamie's back in the Jamie spot. Yay.
I do not want to be
Speaking
here.
of, Michelle, there's a mouse cursor on my face and I can't get rid of it.
Yeah,
It
so
gets-
that is, I'm going to have to, so what it is, that's my, just for whatever reason, as soon, I use a virtual mouse pointer, so I don't have to have 2 mice, 2 keyboards on the go, and it seems to be that every time I roll off onto my main screen, it drops the mouse pointer on top of you, and I haven't been able to figure out how to stop it from doing that. So, can I put it down here? Does it stay there? No, it just goes right back. It just likes you. So that's unfortunate. So I'll try. I'll have to get a mouse pointer of a small. Change the arrow to a little fly or something. Just
Is it picking your nose, Jay?
No, it was sitting like right.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yes,
Sitting right on your nose. It's really funny.
Yeah, so I keep trying to remember as soon as I'm done on my machine to come back to the streaming machine and pull the mouse off the right hand corner. But yeah, I apologize for that.
Okay. I am going to. There are a load of people in heavy armor considering trying to get over to this ship, right?
Yes.
What would darkness do to them?
It would make things dark.
It would make things dark. Would it make it difficult for them to get to this ship?
What exactly
Like
does...
Alexandre would know that.
Well, why don't you read the Bane to me and we'll make a decision here. We'll figure out if it works.
You create an area of illusory darkness or entropic energy that snuffs out all light. The boon is a favorite among illusionists, shadowcasters, scions, and mad scientists, of which I'm sure Alexandre is that one.
I'll tell you what. So here's what's going to happen. You can drop them into darkness. And they will need to make a learning roll to be able to essentially. So if they succumb to the Bane, then they are essentially going to lose their movement for this round, and then essentially because they're not going to know which way's out, they're just the thing is on sailing ships is there are innumerable things to trip on.
I like that.
And so when you're on it, if you suddenly can't see on the deck of a sailing ship, the last thing you do is run. So they would be basically will call. I'm going to say that while they're under the effect of the Bane, they're basically going to be shuffling and playing, Braille to figure out. Okay, is that where that bollard was? Is that where the catapult or the hole for the is that the hole down the open hatch door into the bottom of the ship is, etc., etc. And so they're going to be too busy trying to get out of the darkness to actually do much.
Aha. Okay. Let's do that then.
Mm-hmm.
New system. I'm just rolling my entropy or creation. What am I rolling? No, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, so it's. I think you said it was entropy in the Bane description.
Okay.
So what is your what's your entropy?
In this case, a D10.
Okay, so you you've got an entropy 4. Nice. Okay. Now it is a multi-attack. You're trying to Bane 3 targets, so that's going to be disadvantage 3.
It says that it's an area attack.
Oh, it is defaulted to an area. Okay, carry on then.
It is an area. It is it's a 5-foot radius, so I'd be casting it on one of them.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes. So the default. So it's single target. In other words, it's single target by default. So if if you wanted to blob them, then yes, basically.
Then I'm after disadvantaging myself on that one.
So I think we've just it's disadvantage for every target. I think is what we said. So yep. That's
I'm gonna
disadvantage 3.
Yep. Would help if I weren't muted. 23.
Wow, nice roll. All right then. That easily exceeds any stat they've got. So the entire area around them plunges into darkness, and there's a "what the" kind of cry of exclamation. And yes, so they are basically suddenly going to nobody move. Everyone start pat 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 with the foot, pat 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 with their swords. Okay, where are we? Okay, no, that's Joe. Don't poke that. Etc. etc. And trying to figure their way out of the sudden blob of darkness which has engulfed them. So they're not going to be boarding this round.
Good. I would also. I mean, I don't think I'm within because I moved behind V.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't be within range of someone attacking me.
Well, mechanically, there's basically somebody standing directly in front of V. Without pulling out the minis and stuff, it's not hard to imagine they can sort of try and step around to a side. You get this little dance of playing Ring Around the Rosie with V in the middle. But they technically have got more than enough movement to keep up with you.
Okay.
So the only
I mean, I said you could move. Not to.
I chose not to move.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. So that is Alexandria. So then the pirates get to move. So these siege pirates are all flailing around in the dark. And the pirates in the water who all went splash are spluttering and cursing and saying pirate-like things about the nature of Lucas and his relationship to his parents. And then there's the bunch who were fighting V, who come charging across the deck, shouting and making all kinds of pirate-like menacing noises, and will attack V. And then what I'm going to do is I will then roll to figure out if the last one attacks the one who was fighting Alexandria, if they continue fighting Alexandria, or if they shift target to V. So, this lot, believe it's a D10 they get. Pirates, yes, they are might 4. So that is a might 4 is a d10. Yep, very good. All right, and what's the ridiculously high number they have to roll there, Chevalier?
24.
24. All right, so the first one is a complete miss. Second one is a complete miss. Third one is a complete miss. All right, so that's 3 misses. Chevalier basically making it look easy, parrying with his shield, blocking with his sword. One strike kind of rattles off the bulked armor of his leg. No particular effect. I think what I'm going to do is let's see here. I am going to make a learning roll, which for this lot is a straight d20. And if I don't roll above a 10, this guy is going to change. Go away. Excuse me. One second. While I squelch this so it doesn't make that horrible noise again while we're on the air. There we are. So I'm going to roll a d20. If I roll higher than a 10 in his, the chap attacking Alexandre is going to switch to attacking Chevalier. And I rolled a 19, so he is determined that Chevalier is obviously the more grievous threat, and he will end his attack as well. And rolls a 19, which is, while a very solid effort, fails to penetrate the bulk of Chevalier's enhanced armor. All right, and then there is the pirate chasing Spider around on the upper decks. Spider, your guard, please.
Hey, offer me, you. 16.
16. A pair of double ones, so completely misses. I was just going to say trips over. So what's going on is there's this ridiculous game of Donkey Kong going on between Spider and this pirate, each taking turns shoving this barrel back and forth at each other, and this fellow winds up basically with his barrel rolling over him, the bits and pieces of shoes in all directions sort of thing moment. And that's him taken care of. The siege pirates are unable to do anything this round. And then there's the battle between the sailors and the crew. So the sailors get a d4, so they roll an 8 and a 3, which is an 11, and the pirates get a d10. And that is a 2 and a 5. So the sailors are still winning. So there's another member of the pirate crew who who gets taken down by one of the sailors. So obviously the inspirational display that you folks are putting on is doing a remarkable job of encouraging the sailors to fight on. You can see the sailor captain in the back with 2 of her crew at her side. They're fighting off 4 of them, and the pirates seem to be losing across the entire breadth of the ship. So yeah, looks like it's going okay. And I think what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to take a quick break here. So yeah, we'll be back in a couple of minutes, and we will resume the battle. Thank you, by the way, for your patience as we all figure how this system out and all the rules looking up and stuff. As we get better at this, it'll go a little bit more smoothly. But yeah, I'm having fun so far. I hope everyone else is. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back. Yeah. Alrighty. All right. Sorry, just checking the Zoom chat here. I just realized there was a bit of rules discussion going on that I missed on because I just had.
I know, you're all good.
All right, fair enough. All right then. So now, I guess this mechanically speaking, do you guys want to do initiative per round or just go with fixed initiative? Roll it once, keep going. Different groups.
What's the rule meant to be in this system? Does it?
My understanding is so from what I've read online, rules as written is roll once, keep going. But there are an awful lot of people who have imported the D&D house rule about loving a little bit of chaos in their combat and thus rolling an initiative every round. So what's you lot's favorite?
I think right now, as we are still just getting fully to grips with the system, it might be better just to keep it as roll it once at the beginning and keep it that way, just so there's not like an extra thing we have to keep in mind. And then as we become more proficient and once it becomes more second nature, being able to just do the rest of the combat, then we can look into like maybe we do want to, you know, mess it around each turn.
Yep. What do you,
I like
oops, there's a frozen
What does he like?
chaos. So
Yeah, I'm
hopefully
also
sooner
a
rather than
chaos
later than you
person.
start.
Like
I'm a chaos monkey, but at the same time, I feel like there are going to be some combats where the chaos is like narratively it makes more sense to have chaos. I feel like this is a lot more straightforward
yeah. Okay.
in terms of what's happening.
I'm definitely all for it once, like we're not sort of still in that place of like, how do we remember to what was that again? What was,
enough. All right.
what
So
veins can I do?
So we'll do this one here on a fixed initiative basis. I think essentially everyone's initiative rolls are pretty reflective of their characters. The catch with the Chaos Monkey approach to doing things every once in a while is you'll have Spider going after Alexandri or foolishness like that, which is
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, which lends itself an amusing bit of flavor and narrative. But I think for this go right now, we'll go with locked initiatives, and perhaps the next time we do once we've all gotten, as Sam says, once we've got all, and Chantel says, once we got all gotten a little bit more used to it, we'll introduce a little bit more narrative chaos into our battles. Okay. So the bad guys have gone. The good guys have, which I think means that yes, we've resolved everything. So it is back then to Spider. So what is Spider up to?
In a contrasting show of simplicity, I'm going to drop the bow now that I've incapacitated the people on the other ship.
Yep.
And then the inconspicuous sword cane at my side is suddenly drawn, and I'm gonna try and impale this gentleman in front of me
Sure.
on the sword cane. Now, unlike last turn where I had disadvantage 25 or whatever it was, this turn I get advantage 1 because we gave the sword cane the deadly boon.
I believe that is the case, yes.
It's not a boon, it's just a...
Yeah.
Technically, it's a thing.
Yep.
And yeah, so I'm not going to activate it to switch to defense mode or whatever. I'm just going to try and get him with the pointy end.
Yep. Hold it all in.
Oh, yep, cool. Well, they're both 6s on that. So
Wow.
then they both rolled 1s. So 7, 14, and a 9 is 23.
23, that is definitely a hit.
Okay.
So I think I said guard 14 for these poor buggers. Guard is 14, yes.
Then he takes the difference, which is 9, one short of being able to impose a boon.
I was just going to say yes, but that literally, you just about spit them in point of fact. That is, they only have 10 hit points.
Oh, okay. So he's still up though.
Yeah, absolutely. Staggering back, clutching at themselves, cursing at you in 2 different languages, that sort of thing. But yeah, still fighting. All right. Anything else from
Back
Spider?
off, mate. I'm gonna start climbing over stuff to try and get more towards the melee that's going on.
Sure thing. Okay. And that brings us to Lucas. So those 3 pirates have clambered back up onto the deck, looking like a bunch of drowned rats, literally with machetes clenched between their teeth, looking all very pirate-ish. And grabbing their weapons and preparing to advance on you. What are you doing? There's also, of course,
can
the
I
battle,
push-
there's also, of course, the battle going on with V and Alexandri behind you. You can hear your brother
Correct.
yelling at somebody.
Well, I'm just going to attack them.
Okay.
Just because I really want to push them back in.
So do that. If it's making you happy, keep doing it.
It does. Yeah, no, I really want to push all three of them back in just for funsies. Like, I feel like,
I'm just giggling the whole time.
yeah, Lucas. Like, and part of me is like, before they manage to climb their way back up, I've gone over and high-fived Jasper and then come back.
Just. But I'm just going to say this is starting to resemble a scene from Disney Pirates of the Caribbean. Three of them come up, splash back into the water, high five Jasper. Three of them come up, back into the water.
Yeah, I think Lucas is having a blast. So that's my plan.
Sure
Same
thing.
thing, really.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
So your guard, their guard is a 14. That's what you're trying to roll higher then. So yeah, disadvantage.
Well, can I just say that was an 18 on the D20, so
Yeah, all right. They're getting dunked. Yeah, fair enough.
they're going back in. And I think I'm just for flavor, I'm going to go high five Jasper again.
So
Maybe come up like...
So, like I say, it's a scene from Disney Pirates of the Caribbean. The three of them crawl up on deck, take their machetes out from behind them, look around, and all they see, and basically all what the camera sees is,
Yeah.
and back into the water, the three of them. So that's them back dunked. That's remarkably efficient form
Area
of crowd
position.
control. In fact,
I just like swoop them. Yeah.
All right. All right. So they go in, and then that brings us to Chevalier.
All right. Well, I can actually attack this round.
Yep.
I'm going to try, because there's like 4 of them. So I'm going to try.
There's 4 of them clustered around you and Alexandri.
I'm going to target 2 of them.
All right. Yep.
And because, which is normally disadvantage 2, but I currently have advantage 1.
Mm-hmm.
So split the difference.
Yep.
That's 21.
A 21. Well, they only have a guard of 14, so that is a 7-point difference. Yep.
Yes. Mainly doing the Batman rule. No killing, but crippling is fine.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
I can't walk for a couple of weeks. That's not my problem.
All right, so 2 of them you have certainly left your mark upon. Shield bash to one, sword strike to the other. They're reeling from the impacts of the blows. Yeah.
Well, hammer, but
Yes, hammer. Sorry. Yeah. So between the shield and the hammer, you've got 2 of them firmly on their back feet and thinking they should have stayed in school. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that brings us to Alexandri. So, you would have to consciously decide to keep your darkness effect up. That would be your minor action. You going to do that?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to do that and drop the blindness because I think there might be one person that's blinded, but I don't. Nope, nobody. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay, sweet. Not a problem. I'm going to consciously keep up blinded.
Darkness.
And I would like to. Sorry, darkness.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to just. Essentially, I'm imposing the demoralized bane on them,
Sure.
on the other 2 around us.
Oh, okay.
The ones
yes, the 2 who are not
V
injured.
has not attacked.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, and just say, is pretty dangerous. You should probably just leave.
All right.
And
So
I'm going to use my persuasion to do.
sure, their resolve is a 10, by the way. So
Okay.
yeah. So you'll need to make a roll.
Well, it's a 14 on the D20, and then 2 3s. So
All right. The catch is they have Bane resistance demoralized.
yes,
So how
they
does...
have disadvantage 1 on it.
All right.
Essentially, disadvantage 1 on. Hang on a second.
Okay, they have Bane resistance versus...
Oh, they have Bane resistance.
Yes, so you actually incur a disadvantage in trying to...
Oh, so I should have rolled a third D10.
Yep.
Is that
Yes.
what you mean?
In this particular case, I don't think it matters because your D20 roll was higher, but...
My D20 roll was higher than their resolve, regardless.
But just
But it's a 2 instead.
yeah, so there you go. So all right. So what does demoralized do? Let's check that out.
Demoralized, the definition or description. Using your quick wit, intimidating presence, or even a strong display of magical power, you cause your enemies to doubt themselves.
All right.
A berserker might achieve this effect by foaming at the mouth, while a swashbuckling space captain might dishearten his foes simply with intimidating words. Alexandri's just saying, probs don't do that. He's scary.
All right. And what is the mechanical effect of demoralized?
The mechanical effect is the affected targets have disadvantage on all action rolls.
Wow.
They have disadvantage 1.
Okay, that's actually pretty hefty. So we'll just mark that. Demoralized. And that's disadvantaged.
Also point out, resisting it is a minor action rather than a move action. That's a...
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they'll get a resistance roll as a minor action. Yeah. All right, and then because they have the Bane resistance, I think that actually gives them an advantage on the roll. But all right.
It would be a flat roll in that case because they are imposed with the disadvantage.
Yes, that's mechanically tricky, isn't it? Where you can sort of, by demoralizing folks, you can then basically make it hard for them to make any further saving throws. So that's as somebody who's done game design, I'm always cautious about
the disadvantage is specifically on
action.
actions. Resist is a
So
resist.
that's not
Resist
that.
is a move normally, so it's not actually. It's not like
Gotcha. It doesn't count. Okay, that
Thank
makes
you.
sense. That makes good sense. All right, and that brings us to the pirates. So the 3 pirates fighting Lucas will go swimming after their swords, climb back up the side of the ship, grumbling and muttering, cursing and swearing, vowing vengeance, only to see Lucas probably coming back across the deck ready for another bear hug. So there's 2 pirates who are attacking V just automatically. We'll roll them next. That's a miss, bounces off his shield. That is a miss, bounces off leg armor. Again, they're getting close, but nothing that's penetrating. And then there's the 2 who have been demoralized. They get D20. Oops, come on. That's a 10, so one of them is able to resist and is no longer demoralized. The other one is still demoralized. So, I'm going to now make learning rolls for these 2, which is just a flat D20 to see if they decide to do something about the sorceress. A 10, no, the one's going to continue wailing away on V. The other one's a 15. Yes, he's determined. The one who was attacking Alexandri earlier for being a witch is going to go back to trying to murder Alexandri for being a witch. Again.
People need to stop calling Alexandria a witch. She's not a witch. She's
All right. So
Something else.
Yes. So first. So the third attack on Chevalier, which is not at disadvantage, and that is a 22. Your guard is 20 what? 24.
4.
24. So again, that rattles off of your reinforcement. You're very aware that
Yeah. Again, that would have hurt
yeah.
a little bit
Yeah.
if I wasn't currently
Yeah.
had all that going on.
All right, and then so for Alexandre, what is your guard?
17.
Guard is 17. All right, so this is going to be it's an 18 and the first roll D10 was a 4, the second D10 was a 6, so it's an 18 plus 4 because they're at disadvantage, which is a 22. So that is going to be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be. Do you have anything to say about that, there, Chevalier?
I'm considering it,
Okay.
but how much health do you have?
22.
All right.
So it's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that will be okay. So yes, that will be a solid strike. That will
Yeah.
a little bit of it's not even really going to be it's like 5 out of 22. That's like 1/4. That's more of the exhaustion, darting around, huffing, puffing, playing Ring Around the Rosie with V in the middle, etc. You're getting
So
tired of this.
I should point out because like the I'll check its name. The resistance boon that I'd given her, which last episode described as these like 3 sort of floating orbs that seem to be made of the same stuff the reinforcement was made of, that have just been sort of following Alexandre around. When the attack happens, they all sort of like suddenly sort of move in front of her, and they sort of form into a kind of like a triangle thing, and there's this sort of shimmer of energy between the 3 of them, and they are attempting to deflect or absorb the sword hit as it comes down. So there's definitely like some force between the 3. That is where the bonus to guard is coming from.
Yeah, so essentially they're zooming around, forming these dynamically appearing, essentially deflector shields that are glancing attacks away. And in this case, this one actually, this is just mostly exhaustion, as she's just trying to stay away from this pirate who's desperately trying to end her. Chasing the game of Donkey Kong between Spider and the pirate continues as the barrel goes rolling back towards Spider with a pirate directly behind it, cursing and swearing and brandishing their machete. And with a 9, that is a complete miss.
Nice.
Then the siege pirates, who are currently in the darkness, get to roll their resistance. That's an 11, a 6, and a 12. So one of them is still bobbling around in the dark. So this chap is still darkness. So the other 2 are going to look around, realize that their things are not going too terribly well, and are going to leave their other chap in the dark and go charging over over. And the first thing they're going to be encountering, of course, is going to be Lucas. So they will engage Lucas as they. These guys have got. I can say that they've got enough movement to get across the gunwale of the ship and to take chops at Lucas.
Have I got 5 on me now?
No, you only have 2 of you. You only have 2 on you because there's 3 in the water currently.
Right.
Just as a point of order, technically speaking, this was what the rules chat was that was going on in Zoom.
Yeah.
Darkness is on an area. It's technically a boon. What is affecting the pirates is blinded.
Okay.
So the resist is a major action rather than a minor one, as far as I can tell.
Okay, so
in
literally
order
all
to
they're
resist
doing,
it,
all they're doing is resisting. Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be
They can
able to move.
still
they're out of the. They can move. They're out of the darkness.
Yes.
Or else it wouldn't make sense. They'd still be standing in darkness. I'm assuming they've moved out of it.
Yes.
But it takes their action to do so.
Okay, cool. Sorry, the chat print is actually
don't think-
itty bitty, so it's actually kind of hard for me to read here.
So I don't think they like have the blinded bane in the sense that they need to resist it. It is while you are within the area of effect, the area of darkness. It is you are treated as if you have the blinded.
Yeah.
Bane,
So
because
essentially,
it's
what
dark.
I was doing was because of the idea that there are things that you can fall down on pirate ships, like open hatch doors and things like this. Was essentially their resistance amounted to a learning roll. Do I remember where I am relative to the thing that I can fall into, impale myself on, trip over, etc. So 2 of them have gotten out of that, and I believe making something like a learning roll is a minor. And so yes, yes, they know which way to go to get out of the darkness. Because as I say, on a ship there are a few things more scary than suddenly not being able to see anything around you. There's all kinds of things at shin level and knee level and below foot level that can hurt you an awful lot. So yes, and don't forget these 2 ships are moving. By the way, the terrain you guys are fighting on is doing this at the same time. So you can imagine literally stumbling around in the dark under those conditions. So 2 of them have figured out where they are well enough to get out of the darkness and rejoin the battle. So because that is a minor to make a learning roll, then they will be actually able to cross the gap and engage Lucas. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. So these guys are. That's an open end on... Okay, so it's a 6 on the 20 and an open end on the 10. So that is 20. And then they get a bonus for their... They get a bonus of 2 because they are the siege pirates. So that is a 22 all total.
The 22 will hit.
The 22. By how much?
By 1.
By 1. All right. So you're going to take 3 points of damage. All right.
3 points.
Yep. So essentially, if the effect
3 is the minimum.
Yeah. If the effect is less than 3, then the answer is 3. They cannot bane you, however, so you don't have to worry about that. And the second attack is a... That would be a 17 plus 2 is a 19, which I believe is insufficient. So yes, the second one rattles off Lucas's shield. Okay, and then I believe the last thing to do is the battle between the sailors and the pirates. So that's going to be a D20 and a D4. And so the sailors have rolled a 19. And then pirates rolled a 19. So that is a tie. There is no change in the ebb and flow of the battle. Basically what's going on around you has been fought to a standstill. And we seem to have Drew in the Sam spot. Now Drew is in the Jamie spot. Now Drew is in the Drew spot, and we have a Sam back in the Sam spot and Jamie in a Jamie spot. Yay! And Chantel is just kind of sitting there watching the chaos. All right. So, any questions so far about the battle? Or how's it feeling for you lot? Getting more comfortable with it?
Yeah. Definitely getting there.
All right, and Drew is frozen again.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Yeah. Okay. Just waiting for him to pop back so I can make sure he's okay with everything that's going on so far. And there he is. Drew, how you doing? You are muted.
No.
I'm good. Hello. I'm back.
Excellent. Yay. So how you?
Yeah.
So how's the? How are you feeling about the combat so far? Getting more.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is great.
All right.
I
Fantastic.
kind of imagine that moment that pirate came over and knocked me was when I was kind of like self-congratulating myself, patting myself on the back. I wasn't really paying attention, so that's why I did. It wasn't that.
Yeah. No,
Look,
I like that. Yeah,
if I was, he wouldn't have hit, right? Like
turn around, smoke. Fine then.
Well, you know what they say about self-congratulations, so I mean...
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, and so that going to bring us back to Spider. Oh, wait a second! I forgot to roll the captain who is KO'd to see if
they get a.
And I rolled a 5, so they are remaining unconscious. They are remaining immobilized. So that's 2 strikes out of 3. All right, this is not looking good for the pirates. Gosh, they were supposed to take you all captured and sell you off to slavers for the next part of the plot line. Damn it.
Oh.
Okay, Spider, what are you up to?
So I was like backing towards the melee with Lucas, and we did some high fives. Am I now like effectively? Can I be back to back with my brother?
I think that makes perfect sense. I think that is cinematically appropriate. Hang on a second. I think it's plot appropriate, in fact.
Yep, there's plot appropriates in chat. That guy's still alive. That's so frustrating. I can't do.
And chasing you down, clambering over, all manner of obstruction that you're just diving, and you're basically doing a steeplechase, and this is like being pursued by a bulldog. I mean,
yeah. Well, let's just finish him off then. If he weren't there, I'd go in for some theatrics on the people who were harassing Lucas. But I think I'm just going to finish this one off.
All right.
It's not super high. 15?
15 hits a guard of 14.
Cool. 3 more damage then.
All right, and that finishes him off. Down he goes. So there's a bit of clash and swing between you two, and clunk, down he goes. Now, as a reminder, with this system, mechanically, you are none of the fallen are in danger of dying. You have to explicitly finish them off. Otherwise, they're just knocked unconscious, can be trussed up later, blah, blah. It's an artifact of the Open Legend system that implicitly the damage is, quote, bludgeoning, if you were, or it's not instant, it's not automatically fatal damage, is the way the system is built. Like I say, it's a bit more of a Disney style of thing. So, you're going to be able to...
That may not hold true specifically for Spider because I have the lethal strike.
Yes, if you use that Bane, then yeah. Because that's a permanent reduction in maximum hit points.
Your attacks are considered lethal strikes whenever you fulfill one of the 4. Okay, right. So I didn't take the advantage on that roll, so it doesn't count as one. Yeah.
Okay. Lucas, you now have 5 of these pirates attacking you. You are aware, however, of the presence of your brother directly behind you, who is also engaged with one of in a fight of his own. But your brother's got your back, so you're not going to get you're not going to get encircled, at least.
Right. Look, I think now that my brother's there, and this has stopped being was it a fun little lark of throwing people overboard.
Yeah.
Even though they're nice and damp now, they've clearly haven't learned the lesson, so we need to teach them a lesson.
All right then.
So we're just going to own them. I'm going to attack them, but not all 5 of them because that's insane. Even Lucas knows that. So I'm going to try and attack 3 of them.
All right. So it's going to be a disadvantage.
With my
3.
longsword.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. D20.
Yep.
And then... I'm not rolling bad, everyone. Oh, except for that. Okay. That is a 19.
A 19. All right. You're going to hit 3 of them then.
Oh, yes.
All right. So it's going to be... so that's you'll do 5 points of damage to each of them.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Great.
So
awesome.
You are laying about you in good style. There are battered and injured pirates everywhere. So actually, then we're just going to do this, and that's 5. So yeah, all of the ones who've been fighting you, clambering out of the water, you're basically laying into them, and solidly they're staggering under the force of the blows. Yeah, you're clearly winning this battle.
I'm using Jasper. Like, there's going to be moments when I'm like, I lean on him in order to like.
Yeah, exactly.
Get into it. It's a beautiful ballet of weight and striking with a long sword.
Oh, right then. So that battle is going remarkably well, and that brings us to V. V, okay, so that's going... He's actually... So you've got 3 explicitly attacking you, Chevalier, and then you've got 1 who's been is currently harrying Alexandre.
Yeah, I might... I'll try and hit the 2 I hit last time, but I'm also going to try and hit the one that's gone after Alexandre.
Sure thing. So that's going to be a disadvantage 3 on your roll. Guard 14 is your target.
Yeah. So I reduce that by 1. So I'm rolling 2 extra. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just 16.
That is hits. So they're each going to take... So you're actually going... So that's going to do 3 points of damage. That is actually enough to drop 2 of them, who are already badly injured.
Right. Yes.
So they're going to go...
Cool.
Yep. So 2 of them will drop to the deck. And then the other one is that's harrying Alexandre is now injured. Yeah. All right. And that brings us to Alexandre. What are you up to?
Alexandre is going to turn around, grab that guy by the shoulders, and kick him in the nuts.
All right. That would be a might attack versus guard 14. I presume it's actually you're imposing a bane, yes?
I'm imposing knockdown, which will make him prone.
Yep, sure thing.
But that's what she's doing.
That track.
I was just
Let's
going to
see
say,
how well this goes.
Grandmère has taught her well, yes.
Yeah.
It's potentially agility if that's better, but...
Yeah.
Which is my agility,
Yep.
which is in fact not good at all because that's an 8.
An 8 versus
So
a 4.
she tries to turn around, kick him in the nuts, misses the nuts.
I was just going to say, for lack of a better way of putting it, there's going to be this sort of dance back. He looks at you and says, "That's happened too many times in the past, girlie."
She's been there before?
He's been there before, not her. So she hasn't been there before. That's why she missed.
That is not how Elena showed you to do it, and you know that.
I know. I'm a little bit stressed right now.
I imagine like the classes being like, and this is how you do it.
I mean,
The knee goes into the crotch.
All right.
That's not what you did with your grandma.
All right then. So we're going to start out with rolling the pirate captain's resistance. Here we go. Let's see if this person's out permanently. Ta-da! A 5. That's it. They're done. That's a 3 for 3. They are unconscious basically until the rest of the battle. For the balance of the battle, they're not coming back. So that.
Hey! I think we can take their boat.
We might be able to take the boat.
So yeah, good on you there, Spider. Nice shooting early on. Right then. So the next thing is there's the other siege pirate. We're gonna roll their learning as a minor to see if they can get themselves the house. They rolled a natural 1. They're still wandering around in circles in the dark, unable to figure out. I know I'm on a boat. I saw a boat once. I can't remember where I put the boat. So that's awkward for them. There we are. And right, so mouse pointer. Where'd that go? I had a mouse pointer. I saw it once. There we are. Right. So there are three pirates who are going to. Okay, so there are three regular pirates fighting Lucas. So they get just a D20 and a D10. So and Lucas's guard is what?
It's 21.
21. All right. Now, okay, so open end on the D10. So we're at a 17 and a 9. So that's 25. So that's going to be.
That'll hit.
Yep, that's 4 points.
4.
Yep. So that's a.
Ouch.
Yeah. Second. That's an 18 and a 2 is a 20.
No.
So that glances off your shield. And that is a 19 plus an 8, which is which is a 27. So that's 6.
Yeah.
Now,
Ouch.
for Bane activation, it has to be. Is it 5 or 10?
10.
10. All right.
Well, there's a feat that makes it 5, but
Yeah. They have multi-Bane specialist, but not. Yeah. So they have to roll higher than a 10 to auto apply. Okay. So you're getting a little bit mauled, and then the two big bruisers in the heavy armor step forward.
Bring it.
Yep. And that is a 19 plus 8 plus 2. So all total, that is a 29.
Yeah, great. Ouch.
Uh-huh.
Lucas isn't doing well.
But that's 8 points.
Okay.
And
I'm on 7 hit points.
all right, last attack. And that's a 15 plus 2 is a 17. That glance, you managed to desperately parry that with your sword.
Okay, Lucas. Oh, he took a hit.
He took a beating, yep.
Okay.
That is that. The one fighting Spider is unconscious, which means there's nothing harassing Spider. And then there's one fighting V and one fighting Alexandri. So the attack on V is a 6. That is a miss. And the attack on Alexandri is okay. First off, gets to try and resist the demoralized effect. Rolls ND11. I believe that clears demoralized. Yes. And that is the major action. So that's all they can do.
minor.
That is clearing is a minor. Okay, so they still get the attack.
For demoralize, it's a minor. It's normally a move.
Gotcha. Okay. And that is a 26. Alexandria's guard was a 17, I believe. That is 9 points.
That one I might step in front of.
26 would hit Chevalier, I believe, for 3 points.
Well, no, I need to roll a
yes.
might check and use that instead.
Yeah.
I don't get to use my guard.
Right. So are you going to intercede or not?
I am, yes.
All right. So Alexandri is immediately able to dart. So Chevalier will leap into the way again. Alexandri, are you taking your 15 feet of free movement, or are you going to stay beside a Chevalier?
I'm going to back up behind something.
Sure. Okay.
Is there something I can?
I was just going to say you're able
behind?
to dive over the tattered remains of the broken mast, which is laying over the ship, and you've got the stump sticking up in the air, so you're able to use a bit of that for cover. And Chevalier, what is the results?
I got a 30.
Wow. All right. No damage taken. Clean block. Basically batting the incoming attack away with a swing of your hammer. Yeah.
The advantage was quite helpful because a lot of you roll enough d6s, some of them are going to be 6.
Yes. Wow. Good roll. All right. So Alexandri is spared a potentially punishing blow. And that I think is. Oh yeah, the chap over in the back of the over on the back of the ship, the helmsman is unconscious. Okay, those are all unconscious. That's all done. That's everybody. Yay. Okay. Oh, and then so the battle between the pirates and the sailors. So D20 and a D4 for the friendlies. That is a 16 and a 3. They are fighting valiantly. They've rolled a 19. The pirates roll a 16, and so they've lost another member of the crew to the ongoing battle. Let me do a little count here. I think they're starting to run out of pirates. So that is okay. There were 20 deck pirates, and you have 8 tied up. So we haven't started cutting into the number of pirates available to fight with you lot yet. So, but the sailor, essentially what's happening is the battle between the sailors and the pirates is going so well for the sailors, there aren't new pirates, as it were, to step in and fill the ranks of those that you people are knocking down. If the sailors had been doing worse, essentially, there was essentially a whole second rank, if you were, worth of reinforcements that could have been stepping in to fill the round. But the sailors are putting up a tremendously good fight and keeping them off of you and occupied. So as you're working your way through, they're actually managing to hold the line and even score a couple of wins. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. I was going to say, it sort of makes sense that the best fighters are coming after us anyway, and so the sailors get the better of that.
Exactly. Alrighty, folks, it is top of the hour, or just about, so before we launch into the next round of combat, we'll take a quick break. Everyone refill your glasses, etc., and we'll be back. Fantastic. Alrighty?
Yeah.
And that brings us back to the top of the combat, where it seems to be that the pirates, the terrifying pirates, are in deep trouble, actually. So Spider, on an initiative roll 24 with an agility 5, what you up to?
Well, I'm a little concerned that Lucas just took a bunch of hits. So he's got 3 standard pirates and 2 slightly heavier armored ones.
Yes.
Is that correct? Cool.
Mechanically, so the siege pirates have got a 2-point higher guard and get a bonus to damage of +2. That is their shtick, if you will.
Yeah, cool.
They're otherwise identical to the other pirates standing beside them.
Yeah, I'm a stab those 2.
Alrighty, you must stab. How do you say? I don't know how you say that. Anyway, so go ahead and roll that.
Yeah. So I get disadvantage 2 for multi-striking 2 people.
Yeah.
But I have advantage 2 because 1 from the sword cane being a deadly weapon, and 1 from lethal strikes because I'm attacking someone engaged with one of my allies.
All right then. So
plus 1 advantage. I just roll straight.
Yeah, so it's a straight roll, and so your target is going to be a guard of 16.
Got an exploding 6. That's good. 7, 11, 22.
Wow. Okay, that's
So both of them...
that's +6. They've taken 6 points of damage each.
Nice. Yeah. So I twirl around Lucas's side and I under jab both of them as they're swiping at him.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm trying to draw their attention as well, I think.
Yep, you have definitely got their attention. They'll just try and murder you for their action. Got it. And I believe that brings us to Lucas next. Lucas, you're feeling a little bit staggered, perhaps. You are muted also.
Yeah, a little bit staggered I am, a little bit muted. I think seeing my brother come and engage those 2, I'm going to keep going and stab along with him at those 2.
All right, sure thing.
Try and take them down. I'll have disadvantage 2 on this.
Yep.
But yeah, at least, see what happens. Oh God, this isn't going well. What have I got to get?
Target number is 16.
Okay, wish me luck. No, that is a 9 all up.
All right. So, but basically, you're actually striking true, but you're glancing off the sort of conquistador style heavy breastplate armor, and so you're just bouncing.
Yeah.
The sword's just bouncing away.
Yeah, not doing well. I've just been hit with quite a bit of damage.
Yeah,
Like,
you've taken a kicking for sure.
As if I'm going to hit them. I'm really.
Like, why did you even bother rolling? Just give it up.
I know, right?
Chevalier. You are left with one fight engaged with you and one engaged with Alexandri.
The one on Alexandria is still next to me, though, as well, right?
Yes, he hasn't had a chance to go chasing off after her. She's
yeah. I'll try hit both of them.
All right.
Oh, buddy. Apologize for that natural 20. So I 30.
30 versus a target number of 14, I think. That is 16 points of damage. Bang, they're both down. Stone ball, bang, bang, gone. Shield into the face of the one and hammer into the face of the other. What are you doing?
Ooh, I think. Can I just? Where is it?
Yeah, their maximum hit points is 10. You did 16.
I can, because I got exceptional success, more than 10, but they've gone down, so obviously no point doing anything to them. But I can use my exceptional success to provoke someone else.
All right. So at this point, there are 3 pirates battling Lucas. There are 3 of the regular pirates battling Lucas. There are 2 of the siege pirates battling Lucas. And it's just you, Alexandri, standing in the middle of a pile of bodies. Unless you specifically want to pull one of the others away from the crew with the sailors. If you were to do that, I would say you'd give the sailors a +1.
I was going to do one of the armored ones that are on the brothers.
All right then.
Whichever one looks, the healthiest, I guess.
Honestly, both of them are looking pretty battered and harried.
Yeah. So I'll provoke one of them.
All right.
Essentially.
So here's the question: with a provoke, how does that work mechanically?
So they will get disadvantage 2 on any attack that doesn't include me.
Right. So mechanically, they would have to move away from Spider and.
They can still attack them. That'll be at disadvantage to do it.
Yeah, but is there any similar thing to a disengage action that they can take so that they don't wind up provoking a pair of attacks of opportunity to get away from these 2 to go and attack Chevalier?
I don't know.
It's good. Because this is an interesting problem.
A very good question.
It's an interesting problem with the provoke. Is by provoking them, they either get wailed on attacks of opportunity, or they can't hit anything, right? So it's sort of a double jeopardy. All right, I'm going to tag this one as provoke.
I will look into it.
Just do the quick bit of reading. I'm going to move. So these 2 are TKO'd, bang and bang. This one is moving up to, or would rather move up to deal with. Oh, hello, bing bing. I just heard a loud noise. What was that? Did someone just chat me by chance? What was that? I don't know. Did anyone hear? Okay, just awkwardly loud noise. Okay. Someone that was someone pinging me via Discord. Sorry about that ridiculously loud noise. I'll have to figure out how to turn that off. Hang on a second here. Discord. How about we just turn the volume on that off? Because my gosh, that was loud. Let's just not do that again. Thank you. All right. Sorry about that. For the folks at home who've just had their ears audibly removed, my apologies. All right. So that takes care of Chevalier's action, and that brings us to Alexandre, who, as I say, suddenly finds herself standing in the middle of a circle of bodies, with Chevalier yelling, "Come at me, bro!" with one of the ones battling the two embattled brothers.
Alexandria had run away.
Yes. Yes, that's right. You're quote 15 feet away, sort of standing in a pile of canvas and stuff beside in the relative shelter of the fallen mast and the part where it juts up out of the deck. Yep.
Can I see that Lucas is struggling?
Sure. Actually, just
I'm doing okay, actually. They just got a couple of good blows.
Can I see that Lucas is struggling?
make a perception check, please.
Okay.
Minor action perception check.
So just quickly, the way you avoid opportunity attacks is a feat called evasive footwork, which just makes you immune.
That is that makes provoke remarkably dangerous. Okay, interesting stuff to know.
Yeah, I mean, disadvantage will reduce their chance to hit, but it doesn't make it.
Yeah.
16.
16. I would say, hang on a second here, let me just check. Mechanically, a 16, where's my aid memoir? A 16 is a challenging check. I would say, even with the pell-mell of melee, the rain of blows that came down on Lucas were probably pretty obvious. The fact that he's staggering and staggered a little bit and favoring his injured leg, or his probably is obvious with a 15, 16. I would say Alexandre can tell that's not fighting form Lucas. She can't probably judge how bad off he is, but she can tell that ain't right.
Good. Not good, but okay. She's going to call the song and ask for the song that Lucas has heard before to heal him.
All right, how's this work?
Because it's power level 5, it just automatically works. It's 2d6.
Wow. Okay, roll that.
As far as I can tell, because it's a boon.
Yeah.
So it just happens.
All right, full action. So full action to trigger the boon, 2d6 healing. Roll it.
That's a 19. Everything exploded.
Wow, 19 points of healing back to Lucas. So Lucas is going
How's
to hear...
Lucas feeling?
I'm just going to say, Lucas is going to hear the drifting tones of the chanson. In fact, I'll hit the button. So he's going to hear the drifting tones of the chanson waft across the deck towards him. He's literally going to feel all of the injuries, and because that's almost most of the damage you've taken, isn't it? You're muted.
Yeah, almost. Two off.
A literal breath of fresh air. You're feeling invigorated, and then the tones of the song fade away.
And she's gonna, not mechanically, because she can't, but hide.
Nice. Yeah, exploding dice on a heal roll. That's a good timing, isn't it? All right.
Oh, yes.
Right then. So, and that's going to bring us back to that's Alexandria. That brings us back to the pirates. Let's start out with the dummy who's dawdling around in the dark. Finally rolls a 17, so he's actually out of the darkness.
Great! That's the 6th person to attack Lucas and.
I'm just going to say so. What's actually going to let's see here. So he's going to come. So that's a minor action for him to roll his learning. Go. Oh yes. Now, sort of having brailed his way out of the darkness, looks around, goes, the battle. He'd been following sort of the noises and things, and goes charging, jumps over the railing with his falchion in hand. Let's see here. So what makes sense? So he's going to see. There is a couple of them. What do we got here? Hang on a second. This is such a mess. I actually am having trouble figuring. There's literally I have so many bodies. It's hard to figure out what's going on. 1 sec here. I'm literally going to make a TKO line and put everything that's unconscious underneath it to get it off of my tracker. Because literally it's hard to figure out who's left to actually fight you people. Just 1 sec while I do a little bit of GM administrivia here. That's really awkward for them. Okay, so this guy is unconscious down here. And then these ones are unconscious. Move them down there out of the way. And this poor sod is unconscious. There's going to be a lot of ringing headaches come the morning. I can guarantee you that. And there we are. Okay, so the way I see it... Okay, so there are 3 of the regular pirates on Lucas. This one has been taunted to Chevalier, and therefore, so I think what's going to happen is that there are 2 siege pirates who are battling Spider, who is making rapid mince of everything around him. So they're going to, including the one who was taunted, was provoked by V. I think they're going to stay on Spider in an attempt to put him down, because of course if they try and if particularly one fighting that's been provoked, if he turns his back, he's going to get shanked by Spider. He knows that, so he's just going to put up with this. He's just going to put up with this nagging distraction of Chevalier's influence. The other siege pirate, I think, is going to go charging across the deck after Chevalier. I think is where he's going. Unable to see the high...
So one is going off? Oh, this is the third one,
This is the guy who's been blind for the past 3 rounds of battle.
Yeah.
Finally comes out of the bubble of darkness and goes, oh my gosh. And yes, off after the large mechanical thing, which is clearly causing problems based on the heap of bodies that he's standing in the middle of. So, let's talk about 3 attacks on Lucas.
They all miss. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. That is an 18, which is a miss. Rattles off your sword. That is a 19, rattles off your shield. And that is an 18, bounces off your shoulder armor. Yeah, they all missed. By inches, handful of millimeters kind of difference,
Look, I've got music ringing in my body, and I'm just...
Yep.
The fact that they missed is pure chance.
I was just going to say that it's delightful cinema, that after you've been rejuvenated by the chanson, you're basically rallying forward and blocking blows, and yeah. All right. 2 attacks on Spider. What is Spider's...
Yeah, here's the danger zone.
What's your guard there, Spider?
Look, a respectable 16.
A respectable 16. All right. Well, we start out with a 20 with an exploding 10.
Uh-oh.
That gets us up to a 22. So that
it's not 26.
It's not 26, so that's going to be 6 points of... and then 2 more because of the... he's one of the siege pirates. So it's going to be 8.
Oh, they add the 2 after...
Yep. Technically it adds 2 to the roll, but that just makes it... So that makes it a 24, but still not 26, so it's just damage.
Okay.
That's 8 points of damage. The second guy... Now, this guy is attacking with disadvantage 2, you said, V?
Yes.
2. All right. That's going to make a huge difference, in fact, and probably save Spider's life. Whoops. Dice everywhere. Let's not do that again. All right. So the D20 starting out.
He can also try and resist.
Oh, really? But that's a major action, isn't it?
So resist is normally a move.
Okay.
But
if he's not moving...
I will double check. I think it might be a minor for provoke. It is a minor for provoke. Okay.
All right, so he's going to try and
So
resist.
normally it's a move, provoke. Yeah.
And so it's just a flat. Basically, if he rolls higher than 10, he resists. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Rolls an 11. Provoke is just provoke.
Yep,
Provoke
that's
fades.
great. Cool.
Cool story, bro.
Sam, you're meant to be on our side.
No.
Nah, I'm cool.
Yep. All right. So let's see here. So we get a 5 and a 4. He missed.
Total?
He missed.
Yes.
Rolled a total of
Sorry,
9.
we're good.
Rolled a 9. All right.
We are good then.
The third siege pirate charges across the deck and attacks Chevalier. And rolls a total of 15. And that is, of course, a miss. So, yeah. And then there's the battle between the sailors. So that's a D10 plus, a D20 plus a D4. And they roll a total 20 in their battle against the pirates. The pirates, 18 and 6, that's 24. So one of the sailors finally succumbs to exhaustion and falls. So they're down 1, but but they've done so much damage that it doesn't change the battle for you at all. So yeah, there's still more. There's still essentially there are still more. There are still enough sailors to keep the remaining pirates occupied. So. So yes, one of the sailors basically is just exhausted from battle and winds up succumbing in the engagement. All right. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us up to the top of the initiative. Spider with the initiative 24. What are you up to?
Next verse, same as the first. I'm going to try and finish these 2 heavy pirates.
Sure thing.
So I roll straight because of cancelling. All right. Well, both my 6s exploded, so there should be a good roll. 12
That's
plus
tiny.
8 plus another 7 is 27.
27. Okay, they're gone.
Yeah.
They only had 6 hit points left. So yeah, whirl, dance, stab, kick, bang, and down they go.
Yeah, and now I see, like Lucas just has the 3 of them who he deflected that round, and one's on Chevalier. I look at Lucas, give him a wink, and I say, "You got this." And I'm going to run and jump the gunwale onto the other ship.
All right. All right. So that's awkward because there's no one over there to stop you. So you dive across and over the gunwale. Yep, no problem at all. And then that brings us to Lucas, who apparently's got this.
Apparently, which I suppose is enough of encouragement for me to think I do have this.
Yeah,
So
yes. I mean, how often is your brother wrong, after all?
I know he's never wrong,
Excuse me?
and rarely does he tell me that I've got this. So I'm going to try and attack all 3.
There are actually only 2 fighting you right now.
Oh.
Yep, there's only 2 of them. There's the heavy buggers in armor. There's only 2 left.
Okay, great. That's
I thought
even
I
better.
just-
Actually, no, wait a second. My
I
apologies.
just
No.
downed the
It's-
2 in armor. There are
Yeah,
3.
no, it's 3 of the regular pirates who are fighting you. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, they're the ones I want to kill.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, a good sneeze will knock 2 of them over. So let's see some good rolls from you, mate.
Great. Let's see them. Yeah.
So your target's a guard of 14.
Yeah, great. That's 6 on the 20. Let's see how if I can get 10. If I can get 8. Let's see if I can do this.
Multi-attacking. Don't forget your disadvantage.
Yeah, that is a 9. That is not.
No. So lots of
That's
clashing.
not my day. I shouldn't multi-attack, eh?
Just 'cause well, it looks good when it works, but that disadvantage can get imposition. You know, it hinges. It hinges so much on what the base D20 does. That's the catch.
Yeah, it is. It's like if my D20 has been rolling a 6 for the past round and a half, and I think I'm going to retire that die.
It has betrayed you. So yes, so clashing of swords and armor and etc., etc. You're just not.
When I finish my turn and Jasper's on the other side of the boat, I'm going to say, I don't got this.
All right. And then after that, we get to V with the initiative. You are engaged by one of the siege pirates.
It's just the one?
Just the one.
You know what? Let's try something different.
All right, let's try something different. What different are you trying?
So he's run up to me and just not done anything.
Well, he's clashed against. He's basically bounced an attack off your shield, but no, hasn't done any damage yet. No.
Chevalier, he's just sort of, peers down at this guy. I'm only going to say this once. Run. And I am going to try to invoke the Fear Bane.
All right. That is versus his Resolve, which is a tremendously high 10.
17.
Yeah, okay, so fails by 7 points. What does that do?
So on his turn, he has to use his entire turn getting as far away from me as possible.
Okay.
He doesn't get to resist by using any form of action. But he does get the resist roll at the end of the turn.
Right. Okay.
And it can't. So you basically can't use it. It can't use its actions to do anything other than retreat from me.
Wow.
And
okay.
And it can't willingly move closer in any way.
Right. That's the kind of mixed moment, and yeah. Of course, naturally, the fancy thing is, as soon as he tries to do that, he's going to provoke an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
That might be contentious because
I would
considered a forced movement because forced movement doesn't provoke it.
Good. That was I know that's how it works in Dungeons and Dragons, but I didn't know if that's how it worked in Open Legend, because that is easily open to exploit then. So okay, yeah, if forced movement does not provoke attacks of opportunity, that's perfectly fine. All right, and that brings us to Alexandre. So at this point, the battle is clearly in the mop-up stage, I would say. Alexandre is smart enough to realize that at this point there's the sailors have got the upper hand. You guys have largely cleared the deck of all but a few stalwart remaining pirates. And Spider, in indomitable Spider style, has headed over to capture the other ship.
Okay. I am going to... how many are on Lucas now?
There are 3 battling Lucas.
3. Going to take disadvantage 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to disarm them.
Okay.
And I'm going to yell out, "It's over."
All right. Yep.
It's not over.
It's not over. All right then.
Not over. I rolled a 5. It's not over at all.
Oh, it's not over at all. No.
Can we make this fail forward? Can it be over, but with something?
Can it be over, but something bad happens? Like, it's over, but someone just pings off an arrow at me.
You weren't rolling to make it over. It wasn't the roll.
I was rolling, but I feel like it's they drop their weapons, but then they just laugh at her. I don't know.
I tell you,
or maybe it's they drop their weapons, but then realize that she's there.
I think that's reasonable. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. So, you've broken stealth. They are aware you. There she is. But, Lucas is still there. But what this basically means is that Lucas isn't going to get whaled on this round because they've got to pick their weapons back up, I believe.
And they're not disarmed though. Oh, right, they are disarmed because fail forward.
Yes. Yep. I'm actually going to say that the other piece, because I just think it's interesting, is I'm going to give the fail forward is for dramatic purposes. I'm going to give the enemy captain another chance to wake up. That is going to be the fail forward. So they're going to drop.
This is cool. I like this.
So Spider clambers over to the other deck thinking, aha, I've captured, kind of thinking back. So we're going to make that roll right now. So, D20. Oh, come on now. A 6. 4 rolls in it.
Well,
and haven't been able to roll higher than a 10. So yeah, they're staying down and fail forward. So the pirates are disarmed. They will have to use their. They will have to take. I think it's a minor action for them to try and pick up. How's that work? Is it minor action to be able to scoop their weapons back up?
Like drawing and sheathing and stuff is a minor action. So
yeah, they'd be.
I assume it.
So the catch is. So here's the catch: is that Alexandria. Mechanically, you can actually have the weapons land anywhere reasonably within 15 feet of them. So literally, what you can basically do is kind of thing. Weapons go flying into the air as they're in terror. So they all would have to move away from Lucas to be able to reclaim their weapons.
Yes.
So I think that would make some sense because otherwise it doesn't really work very well. They just pick up their weapons and keep whacking away on him. So I'm going to. All right. So that gets us back. So yes, it is now the turn for the pirates. So the first thing. Okay. So the siege pirate. Fighting V, eyes go wide. A peculiar smell strikes V's nose, and the pirate goes racing away from him.
So I'm looking into. I think that does actually provoke an opportunity attack.
I'm pretty sure it did.
Want to?
Yeah. I think it's specifically forced movement or like telekinesis that doesn't. Whereas this makes him use his movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, under D&D,
and also
interesting enough, under the D&D rules, this actually wouldn't provoke an attack of opportunity because he doesn't get a choice about moving away from you. It's technically forced movement. But yeah, do you want to take a crack at him as he flees?
I don't think so.
All right.
Partly because I'm not 100% if we're correct, and partly because I don't want to do it.
Okay, no, that makes perfect sense.
You told him to run. He's running.
I told him to run. He did. So,
he's going to basically bolt back the way he came, shrieking like a mad fool, which is really amusing because you were probably fighting like a halfling. Vault over the deck, over to the other ship in his attempt to get as far away from you as possible, because that's about as far away as he can get. Arrives pretty much beside Spider, and then rolls his resist. And rolls a 15 and looks at Spider.
I think he can get, because he can basically move twice, so he could probably get further should he want to.
No, at the end of the day, you can only basically move so far. It's two boats tied up together with grappling hooks. There's only so much distance. But even if he was to run himself right across, literally the width of the two vessels, and then up onto the quarterdeck, it ultimately puts him in such a position that Spider is now the thing between him and V all over again. So he's made his save. But he cannot do anything about Spider this round. And technically, so the other pirates who are disarmed are going to be darting around in an attempt to scoop up their weapons. That means Lucas.
Whack-a-mole.
Lucas gets an attack of opportunity if he wants, as they try and grab their weapons.
Yes,
Go ahead and roll
please.
it.
I'm changing dice.
Oh, sure you
I'll
did.
die for this. Yeah. It got worse. There we go. See what happens. Yeah. I need to roll pretty well here. Exploding dice!
Yay! So what did you get all total? What are your numbers?
That's 18.
18, that's a hit. So you're going to do 4 points of damage. So do me a favor, roll a d6. Tell me what you get.
Okay. 5.
5. Okay. I said you did 6 points. How much damage did you do?
4.
You did 4 points? Okay. You just about lay one out.
Yes.
Staggers under the force of the blow and dives lengthwise, grabbing his sword and whirling around. But they're going to be but they're now spread all over the place. They're too far away from to be able to return and immediately attack Lucas.
Like cockroaches in my back area at my house.
All right.
Turn on the light and they just go.
I'm glad you qualified.
He's qualified.
All right then, and that brings us. That was awkward. Now, thank you. So I guess that brings us back to the sailors and pirates. So we're going to roll a d20 and a d4 for the sailors. That is not a good roll. That is a total of 5. Let's see what happens with the pirates. They roll, not a great roll either, a 13. So that means that 2 sailors are going to get knocked down. And that is actually going to free up. Let me do the math here real quick. Okay, just 1 second, I need to do some math, and I'm not very good at that. Okay, there were initially 10. All right, so that means that there are going to be 2 pirates freed up by the battle versus the sailors who are going to suddenly appear, and I will ask everyone to roll a d6. Basically, lowest rolls are the two people whom pirates materialize beside. A 3, a 5, a 5. Jamie?
Sorry, I missed that. I was looking
roll a
at a
d6,
rule.
please, and let me know what you get.
A 3.
A 3. All right. So a spider. A pirate comes clambering over the wreckage of the mast and heading towards Alexandria, and one who's basically just dropped one of the friendly sailors realizes that Spider has made his way over onto the ship, and he's going to jump over the gunwale and go chasing after Spider. So let me just add these here. But yes, they are rapidly running out of pirates here. So here, that's going to be 11 is chasing Spider. And will be in range to do something next on their action. And then pirate number 12 will be oops, come back here, you. Is going to be chasing Alexandria. All right. And that is so things have turned badly on the upper decks. The friendly sailors are tiring of the battle. There are the initial rush of exhilaration of having heroes battling alongside them has given way to an increasing sense of desperation. So yeah, and that brings us to the top of the initiative. Spider, you have a chap in a gleaming breastplate and a raggedy-looking pirate heading your way.
Yep. I would like to invoke my observant perk and notice details that others typically miss.
Sure.
So once per session, I can use this ability to notice something out of the ordinary. I might spot a hidden passage behind a bookcase, a trace of blood under the fingernails of another character, a wig that is not quite convincing, or a barrel of gunpowder.
Or a barrel of gunpowder. So,
I don't know.
I tell you what. So here's what
Do we have gunpowder?
No, probably not. But
we're looking for a convenient plot device. So let's get you to roll that roll that ability, please. Let's see what you come.
It's not a roll. It's just like once per session you notice something out of the ordinary. You choose, not me, that is.
So let me do it this way. What is spot?
I'm looking for some sort of way of like whether it's a swinging mast or a barrel I can knock over to get both these pirates to fall into the water, I guess. Something like that.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I'll say that. For lack of interestingly enough, Spider has spent an awful lot of time running around the docks of Shining Capital, so he's vaguely familiar with ships. I will ask you to make a learning roll and tell me what you get.
Okay, let's do that. Learning. I have 2, so it's plus d6. Yeah, like a 4. That's not bad.
A 4. You've seen a ship in a picture once. So
I'm sure if I cut this particular rope.
So all right. So here's so you've got a good idea that yes, if you yank these 3 belaying pins, that will loose this piece of rope, which will run around that thing, which will run around that thing, which will run around that thing, into a Rube Goldberg machine, and result in that big piece of wood sweeping across the deck.
All right, that's what I do.
The catch is that with the 4, you're going to get caught in your own AoE.
Yep, so I love it.
So, what I'm going to ask you to do, as odd as this sounds, is to make we're essentially going to call it a forced movement bane, if you will. Make the roll, and then essentially you're also going to apply it to yourself to see if you get bopped over as well.
Okay, cool. So if I don't normally have this one because it's might. Mm-hmm. Oh no, it says here you can be done with agility. Yep. Okay, cool.
Yes, so you're literally diving around, ripping out belaying pins as these guys are chasing you around, and then there's this moment where everyone looks up as this massive thing swinging across the deck.
Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, now I can roll good. 25. We're all getting knocked into that water.
All right. So. All right. Yeah. So, Lucas.
I love the moment this heavy pirate like pulls up next to me and shakes his head now that he's run away from the robot. Looks at me. I look at him and I just go yoink.
Wrong lever, Kronk. So, we're actually going to pan the camera over to the battle with Lucas, who has just finished yelling, "I don't have this," who looks over to his brother for support in terms of see bouncy, 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 whoop, and kasplash. So effectively what's just happened is you and the 2 pirates are spending your initiative getting out of the water.
Sure we are.
So yeah, effective yet awkward. Okay. Let's see here. That brings us back to Lucas with the next action on the initiative chart.
He's in stunned disbelief.
Is my brother still alive?
Well, you don't know. He went literally over the far. So you got the 2 ships side by side. You're fighting over here, and he went off that side of the ship. So you've no idea what's going on with your brother at this point. All you know is you just saw him and 2 pirates get their clocks cleaned by a huge hunk of wood swinging across the deck at chest level.
Okay. Great. Amazing. Terrifying, but also all right. I think what I'm going to do is just remember that. and then just stab the guy next to me.
Sure thing. Do that. So you have, according to what you've got 3 pirates still battling with you at this point.
Look, I think I've learnt my lesson as the player and as well as Lucas, that aiming for 3 is not helping me. So I'm gonna go for just 1 and hope that all my dice explode.
Sure thing. Target number's 14. Go ahead and roll it.
All right.
A 12. So, clashing swords, but you're not really getting anywhere, unfortunately. Fair enough.
Right, these...
Another awkward pause on Drew's part. Wait for him to come back here.
I can hear you, but I can't. You're not moving.
There you are. I'm back. Cool.
I'm back. I keep rolling 6s on my d20s, and I've only got 2 d20s, and both of them are doing it.
We have to get you a dice tower as the solution there.
All right.
All right. And that brings us to Chevalier. Action, please.
So you said there was someone, one of the new arrivals was going after Alexandra?
Yes.
And how many are still on Lucas?
There are 3 battling Lucas, who are all looking pretty beat up right now, and then there's a fresh from success pirate closing in rapidly on Alexandria.
All right. Well, I'm going to move just to sort of intercept, and I'll take a swing at him.
Sure thing.
I should have more dice. There we go. 16.
That is a hit. Target is his target number. His guard is a 14, so you're going to do 2 points of damage to him, and you will easily get in the way. So he will shift his attention to you.
Cool.
Yes, 3. 3 is the minimum damage.
Oh yes, thank you. 3. Okay. Alrighty. So yeah. Anything else? Okay. And that brings us to Alexandria on an initiative of 8.
Okay. I was going to do this to myself, but Chevalier's dealt with it. So, Alexandria is going to hum a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially what's going to happen is everyone around Lucas
Mm-hmm.
will hear music,
Mm-hmm.
and that music will frighten them.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to create an aura.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone that ends their turn in his space,
Mm-hmm.
or anyone that ends their turn in his space is afraid.
Does that
And runs from
Does that
him.
include him?
No, it does not include the target. He is the
Uh-huh.
target.
Ah, so essentially you have a donut of doom around him. Got it.
Yeah. Theoretically, what happened, like narratively, what happened was Alexandria healed him.
Mm-hmm.
That music never really went, so she's just extending the
Yep.
radius of it,
Okay.
but making it frightening for other people.
Yep.
Probably because they've never heard anything like it before.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. All right. So I will need you to make a roll, please.
18.
18. Okay, that will overcome their resolve quite handily. So,
It's also it's a boon, so I just had to
Yeah.
beat the.
okay.
The action is putting the aura boon on
Okay.
Lucas,
Okay.
with the
Yes.
fear bane being the thing it does.
Right.
Yes.
On their turn, or on anyone's turn, on anyone who now, like friend or foe,
Right.
anyone
Yeah, friend or
who
foe.
except for Lucas, anyone who is within whatever the radius is for this aura,
Mm-hmm.
either moving into it or ending their turn in it, will then take the bane attack.
Right, got it.
For fear.
Okay, so essentially the pirates, as they charge in to attack them, will all have to make saving throws, essentially, if you will, to resist the effect.
Yes.
And if they fail, then they're feared.
That is correct.
Got it. Okay. All right, and that's handy because guess whose turn it is? So let's just start out with that. So now, what are they rolling? Is it just the D10 to resist, or are they trying to exceed some target number?
For what?
So the three pirates are going to charge in to attack Lucas because they were outside of the area initially. So they're charging forward. They encounter the protective fear bubble of the chanson. They have to make a roll to be able to do something. What is it? What are they rolling?
Alexandre attack against them. So they're being the bane, the fear bane, by entering the aura.
Right. So
okay. It's same as if she had targeted them with fear.
Okay. So in this case, so the 18 she rolled would be applied to their resolve of 10. They would become frightened.
I think they just
are afraid.
I think she rolls again.
I roll again. Okay.
I think it's like whenever it triggers, you get to make that roll against that person.
Gotcha. Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Yep, that makes sense. So basically there's a little bit of hokey pokey potentially to go on there. So yeah, so the three, I'll need you to make 3 rolls. So go ahead. Your target number is a 10. Should be pretty straightforward.
So that's 24 on the first one.
Yeah. Okay. They're not. They'll be back next Tuesday.
27 on the second one.
Oh gosh. Yeah. All right.
And
You're gonna see some diving overboard.
I'm hoping so. 6, 8, 13.
All right, so the scene is Lucas bracing himself for the attack, the 3 pirates grabbing their machetes, charging forward, screaming, "Ah!" They turn around, "Ah!" and run away the other way. And they literally go straight to the gunwale of their ship, hop the gunwale of their ship, and right across the gunwale over to the other side and look over this, and they kind of grind up just before they literally leap into the water to join Spider and the 2 he's fishing with currently. And they're looking down.
Do I get an opportunity attack?
They don't reach you.
Yeah, they literally don't get into range. They hit the edge of attack range and go, no, and they leave. If you'd had something like a halberd, which had the reach ability, yes, but essentially they never get to melee range with you.
Just because it'll probably come up later. Once they've been affected and then resist, they're immune from that source of fear for an hour.
Right. So they'll get to resist at on their next initiative. All right. Okay, then. So that's those 3. Lucas spared impending doom by Alexandre. So there's one who's now facing V. That's not really... He rather wanted to murder the witch, but this large machine got in the way, so he's going to have to murder that first, I guess.
Idioms.
So that's a D10 and a D20. I don't think he can actually hit you. And he rolls 12. That's going to not even... Chevalier will just literally step out of the way. No effect. Right then. And then there are 2 pirate crew in the water with Spider who are going to need to make essentially resist... I'm going to say they actually have to make essentially athletics rolls, which is either might or agility, whichever... to try and clamber back up the side of the ship and get out of the water. So the guy in the heavy armor is struggling. He's doing a dog paddle, not getting anywhere. The other guy is trying to climb over the guy with the armor and thus keeping the 2 of them in the water, and so they don't get into the water this round. So, and that's them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that for this week. We're out of time. So I'm just going to wrap this up with the concluding round of the action between the sailors and the pirates. Let's see if the sailors can regain the momentum. They rolled a 13. That's not great. The pirates rolled an 18, so that is going to bring down 1 more of the sailors. And there will be a spare pirate wandering around to begin next. All right, so what I'm actually going to do is ask everyone but Spider to roll a d6. Lowest person gets a free pirate. That's a 5. Just waiting on Drew to unfreeze. And Drew rolled a 7. Okay, so V, I'm going to arbitrarily declare that V is going to see the one heading, even if there was one charging towards Alexandria, V would intercept anyway. So because V and Alexandria have tied, then V is going to intercept that other pirate and deal with them. So that's that. So we'll. There we go. So at this point, the battle seems to have swung. It's actually almost back to being an even battle again. And we'll see how things wrap up next week. That's it for this week, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, if you're catching this later on the VOD, thank you so very much. Appreciate you hanging out. I will ask Chantel to do the exclamation mark thingy in the chat as we say our goodbyes. So we'll start out, just to make things awkward for Chantel, with asking Chantel to say goodbye first.
That's a great idea. Let's do that. Sure. I'm Shawnee B. You can find me at Chantel B on Twitter if I can get things working. If they don't, that's fine. You can find me here most of the time. You can find me on Twitter at Chantel B. You can find me at wordswithcolor.com, which is my website where I put up lots of different words because it's words with color. So there's words, sometimes there's colors. Who knows?
Right. I'm just going to suggest you should start using purple as your default font color for when you're writing.
Okay.
Well, it's word with color, right? Isn't it?
To later today, you can find me on a new game we're playing called Far From Home, which is Savage Worlds, and it's sci-fi, and I don't know what's going to happen. I never know what's going to happen, but I get to play I'm playing a crazy melee character, so that's going to be fun.
Yay.
Attacky thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm here all the time, so yeah.
Very good. All right. Jamie.
That's me. I'm Jamie. Catch me here during the middle of the week on Eternium Gate. And on my website, jamie-collett.com, or on Twitter at Muffin Manifesto. I had a lot of fun this session. I thought it was cool to put the combat system through its paces, and I'm definitely not going to drown, please.
All righty. Sam?
Hello, that's me. I'm Sam. As I said at the top of the show, I am a voice actor and performer based in Brisbane. You can find me on Twitter at @the_real_SammyP. Most recent thing I've done other than these shows was the Penny Peep Show series, A Town Called Prodigal. They've now released all the episodes. They've actually moved on to another show, which is also fantastic, and actually has, I think, a bunch of the voice actors who were in A Town Called Prodigal continue on. But I'm also on this channel. I'm also on The Curious Case of the Paddington Prowler, which is on Mondays at, I forget what the Eastern Standard Time is, but the Mountain Standard Time, I believe, was 10. Yeah. Like 9:30.
Not yet.
It moved at 9.
It's 9. It's 9 o'clock at the moment. Yeah.
And that's midnight. That's midnight. 11 o'clock Eastern.
11 Eastern.
Yep.
9 Mountain.
Yeah.
The time moved on me, and the conversions no work for what I thought were. No, it is for Australian Eastern Standard Time, so that's fine. But we recently shared a lot of secrets and then gained hindrances in return.
Excellent.
Yay!
Sounds like a good trade to me, right? All right, and Drew.
Hi, I am Drew. You can find me on Twitter at DrewWilson. I have also started this writing thing at talesoftheTavern.wordpress.com. This is the only stream I do, and it is the highlight of my week. So this is fun. Join us next week because I like being here, and I like you being here too.
Very good. And of course, I am Michel Vaillancourt, the GM-ST of this fantastic bunch. Thank you very much for joining us at Due Respite, where, as Eric likes to say, we invest in stories. You can catch up with me other times in the week, Sunday mornings most of the time, on my own channel, 902 PE Gaming, where I talk about world building, story writing, map making, and GMing in general. Drop in, say hi, ask questions. That's what I do. And that is us for this week, folks. Thank you very much for joining us on our story of Unlawful Disorder, A Twist of Fate. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.